Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PCCS's emPower Hour. My name is Alyssa DeGusto, and with us today is our co-host, Mr. Kevin Roman.
Good morning, guys.
And here we are today to talk about the people in the community that are coming together to help reconfigure humankind. With us today is our wonderful guests, three very driven men named Eric, Anthony, and Sal of DeleteTheWordCant. So, guys, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, yes, my name is Eric Sogo. I'm the founder of an organization called DeleteTheWordCant, in where we try to inspire and motivate people to achieve their goals, no matter how difficult it may be. It's still possible.
That's right.
My name is Salvatore Cento, and I am the vice president of DeleteTheWordCant, where we do literally that. We try to get the negative mindset out of people and implement a more positive one so they can do anything in their life that they want to.
Great.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Anthony Rubin. I am the secretary/communications manager of the organization DeleteTheWordCant. I'm the main voice of the organization, where I would send different emails out to different organizations that would like to partner up with us in the future for future events. And for those that are also watching, for those that don't know, also, I'm also a direct support professional for PCCS. So I'm happy to be a part of both great orgs.
We're really happy to have you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. So I wanted to thank you guys. Honestly, I have to thank Anthony. I have to give a special shout out to Mr. Anthony Rubin, because you are the one that kind of brought us all together here to see how we can work together. I know, Anthony, you have the most PCCS spirit of any person that I know. So it's really exciting to be able to partner up, especially with an organization that's mission really aligns so much with PCCS's, that we are, an organization that we don't say that someone can't do anything, no matter who they are. So we really are trying to, do the same thing that you guys are doing and deleting that word can't. So with that said, can one of you guys give us a little bit of background? What is your nonprofit as a whole? How did you guys get started? Who started? Whose idea was? I want to know that day that light bulb went off and you guys were like, you know what? This is what we're doing. And this is how we're doing it. So tell me.
Eric, you told me that story once upon a time, so I think you want
to... And you also said that to same here. So, Eric, you have to be the one that tells the story.
Yeah.
Eric, apparently we need to hear the story. So
we do need to hear the story.
I'm your man for that.
All right.
So I graduated college in May of 2019, before this whole pandemic started, luckily.
Whew.
And I decided with Sal, actually, because we were in some classes together, and I noticed that he was kind of a go-getter like myself. So I decided, you know what, maybe after I graduate, I should ask Sal if he wants to join me in starting a nonprofit organization. And that, I spoke to my accountant, we started doing the paperwork. That's how the process started. The reason that I decided to, have this organization is because when I was younger, I was very badly bullied for having a disability, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, and I couldn't get rid of the bullying. So from first grade to 12th grade, I was bullied. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like that, whether you're a student or whether you're in the workplace, because that's just not, that shouldn't happen. We're all on the same team. We're all people. We shouldn't gang up on each other. We should instead help each other rise above. So I decided to do that while I didn't have school and I finished and just everything seemed better in my mind space. And then a few months later, I asked Anthony to join because I realized that Anthony, since he was a member of, well, he was on the board already technically on Hillel at the Hillel Club at CSI, which is like a Jewish organization. And I realized that he was also like a, an achiever, a goal getter, and I, Sal and I came up together and we decided, you know what, he might be a good fit for the organization. So one day, I just kindly asked him if he wanted to join. He did all he sent me the resume, he did the paperwork just for like tax purposes. And here we are a few months later, and we're doing really well so far, I would say.
I don't know if Eric remembers this, but the first time I met him was in a poetry class, and him talking right now about go-getters and rising above. He had a way about him when he would write his poetry. It would be so much more intricate and complex than any other student in the class, and that really impressed me. So in our next class, he was in my group for our projects and what we had to do.
Nice.
Wow, it sounds like you guys really work so well together.
Mhm.
It seems like kind of just like you guys like got married in a way. Which is like,
In a way, yeah. Yeah.
So, Anthony, how about your involvement?
Well, good thing with me. Well, I actually have something that I would say to add of how I met Eric. I met Eric through, of course, Hillel, because he would come into the office many times. And Eric and I also were a part of the Emerging Leaders program, in which we were trying to grow and understand how it would become to be a great leader. And because of that training that we did in Emerging Leaders, I was thinking to myself, Eric, I know that Eric one day is going to have an organization like this one. I was thinking that in my mind as he is successful, and nothing should stop Eric or anybody from doing what they love to do best, helping others.
That's amazing. So you guys, just to clarify, you guys met in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
And Anthony, what is, for those that don't know, what is the Hillel Club?
So for those that are watching the emPower Hour, and those that don't know what Hillel is, the Hillel Club is a Jewish club on campus that it's like similar if you go to high school and you find a Jewish club in your high school. We try and give and do many events about Jewish life, Jewish culture, finding things out about Judaism, and we have a student board like me because I am now the current president of Hillel. This is actually my third time being on the student board. In 2018-19, I was the secretary of Hillel, along with being a Rudiment Inclusion Ambassador, working at PCCS, being a peer networking engagement intern, and I was an emerging leader. Then just last year, 2019-20, I was vice president and Rudiment, and now this year I am happy to say I am the secretary of DeleteTheWordCant, president of Hillel, and I'm also now I just got a position as a self-advocate for the Geraldo Rivera Cohort Fund in CSI.
Oh, we love those.
Hey, shout out to the Geraldo Rivera.
Congratulations.
Oh,
So
awesome.
you wear a lot of hats. It seems.
So it seems like our next episode is actually going to be about how our guests seem to have 30 or 40 hours in a day because everyone does like 400 things. Yeah, I can barely hold up a job and a half, pretty much.
Like the thing with me is that like once I got into like Eric mentioned, like what happened with him in elementary, middle school, that's happened with me because I have ADHD, which I'm proud to say, and that I've been bullied in elementary, middle school because of that. Once I got into high school, that changed me. I got to be involved a lot I was in National Honor Society. I graduated with honors. Graduated with a 97.25 average when I graduated, and now I'm in CSI. I'm finishing in 2 semesters. Like, nothing can stop me. And I'm also currently in the process of applying to graduate school to become a speech pathologist.
Nice.
And being involved in CSI, I just love it. Along with balancing my coursework and being involved, nothing can stop me. No one can say no for an answer.
Love it. Love that energy.
That's the mindset that we want to have in our organization.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, we're really happy that, you guys, like I said earlier, that you guys reached out to us initially because, we work so hard at PCCS to work with other organizations and community partners that's missions align with us. And I mean, like, now you guys are really like to the T, literally aligning your mission. So,
Yeah.
I know you guys kind of gave us the background of what, how you got here. Can you tell me like what a typical day looks like for you guys? What is it that your roles encompass at DeleteTheWordCant?
Okay.
So as a vice president, my day starts off by checking the social medias, and then Eric lets me know how the website is doing, and how, according to how that goes, I change our social media is going on and how we post our motivational and inspirational posts and how we do all that, because that's the most we can do in our current landscape that we live in. We can't do much outside and in groups. So we're primarily, in my part anyway, we're primarily focusing on the social media aspect.
That's awesome. I think social media in general, and I'm speaking from the communication nerd in me. Is just so important, especially now being in such a virtual space, and finding ways to be super creative has become so difficult. And you don't want to use the word can't, but sometimes it becomes really, really difficult to be like, yes, we can. Yes, we can do it. It's difficult. So it's awesome that you guys work so well together to kind of come up with that content to be pushing out, and keeping, being in sync with each other. So Eric, we haven't heard from you in a minute. So what does the day look like for you?
Well, every day I basically decide, and I text Sal and Anthony, whether we start like a donation page on Facebook, or we give out proceeds to different organizations, so that way it will help the disabled community. And then if this is okay with Sal, we recently we actually spoke to Hobbies Cafe and Special Teas,
Okay.
and with the donations we received, and with trying to help the community along together, we actually decided to give proceeds that we have right now to Harvest Cafe and Special Teams, specifically because they hire people that have disabilities. Not many people do that, unfortunately. So we want to inspire specifically those people with disabilities. You know what? For all your hard work, it doesn't go unmentioned. That your hard work is always appreciated, and you can't do it just because it's hard. You shouldn't really stop. Just it should make you keep going stronger and harder.
Yeah.
And then on days that we don't do donations to other organizations, we try to, as Salvatore said, we try to update the website to make it more modern. We try to make our social media better, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. And as of right now, and then once I figure it out, I'll tell my team. But I am trying to me and Anthony, I should say, are trying to get in touch with our organization, City Access, to see what, because we're also collaborating with them as well as with you guys. So we want to see with them what they want us to put on our website about their organization, and then we'll do the reverse. And then after that, we'll follow up with you guys.
Oh wow!
So
Okay.
we have a lot of good things in mind.
Yeah, you have a lot of partnerships looking like, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to do as much as we can.
Yeah, nice.
When did you guys get founded? When did you guys come together? What was the year?
In December of 2019.
Nice and new, and you guys are already getting such a great start. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. And now, Anthony, you, what does a typical day look like for you with Delete the Word Can't?
Let's just say that I sit down on my computer. If let's say Eric or Sal text me about who they would like for me to email about, like either they want to join the organization or how we can collaborate with them, I would send out I would have to make sure, instead of going for a basic email, hi, would like to collaborate with you, thank you. I don't do that type of stuff.
Mhm.
I think about my emails very carefully and strategically so that my message could come out nicely and also could be really well.
Mhm.
So I also make sure whenever Eric or Sal gives me a name of a person to email, for example, let's say, just an example, Alyssa, I would like to email you and Alexa about doing let's say a carnival for ADA or something. Then I would have to email you. I would have to make sure to put you and Alexa, and not to make sure to CC Eric and Sal so that they can be in the loop. And I would give a whole good description of what we like to do, and also what's the reason we're doing this.
That's great that you guys also keep each other, like I said earlier, in the loop and working together with one another, because when you guys are not on the same page, things are just gonna fall right through the cracks. That's really awesome. Yep. And I'm really happy to hear that from you guys. Kevin,
by all means, go ahead.
Are you sure?
By all means.
So I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. What are some of the more difficult challenges that you guys have found, within your organization and developing the organization today? What are some of those difficulties looking like?
I'll go first on that. It's finding our place within the organization. Yes, we have our titles, but when it comes down to it, only time tells what we're really good at and what we need a helping hand with. So time only fixes that problem. And we've come to find out that Anthony's the communications, Eric's the face, and I'm more behind the scenes. We're only 3 people in this group, but that's where we work the best.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think.
Nice.
Many hands involved.
What I would like to add is, and Sal remembers actually back in, I want to say back in October, September of last year, where before this organization actually got established, it was very tough to actually get it all put together, because for some reason it took the accountant forever to speed kind of not speed the process along, but actually put the work in place, meaning that we were harassing him. We were always on top of him, because this was very important, not only to us, but to me too, because
Right.
this was just, I see this organization as my child.
Right.
And I mean, you want your child to be well as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I mean, when my child's not well, I would get on top of whoever's responsible.
Yeah.
Um, Not to say that you guys, I mean, not to say that you guys on big parts, because you guys are two very important key roles in this organization.
I was with you some of those days. Some of those days were stressful.
It was very stressful. Because not only that, but we were also worried about like weights and about the website, how it's gonna come out, which Sal which Sal actually helped me make the website, and it turned out really well, I should say. Um, and throughout
Trials and tribulations.
yeah, minor tribulations, minor problems.
Mhm.
And then the only problem really that during this process we've come across some people who um, like to cause problems, and like if people cause problems, I don't really want them in the organization. We don't want them in the organization, or people cause drama, I should say. We don't want that in the organization because I mean, as I said before, um, this is something that took a long time to make, and we don't take it lightly. And I don't think that if you cause drama, then you're treating this lightly, which should not be the case.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Oh, I think what Eric is trying to say, we all want to meet goals, and we all want to exceed our goals without obstacles or fences in the way, and we want to do that as soon as possible.
I think that definitely with a smaller group of people, it does seem like there's like you guys obviously have a very deep passion for what you guys are doing with this organization, and it moves at a rapid pace for you guys since you guys all have that same passion for it. It gets a little more complicated the more the other people get involved and things like that. But as long as you have people who are like really dedicated to your mission and partners that are, equally dedicated, it kind of, helps those growing pains, as Alexa had mentioned.
It's all about finding a
I
rhythm.
saw that.
Yeah. So.
And Anthony, what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've been facing in your role through all of this?
I think like the one main difficulty, because I get usually with me, I'm not sure everybody else does, I get pet peeved about like so many like the littlest things possible, whether it's like an email that's been sent out and has my signature, but then under that it's another person's signature, and I get pet peeved about that little detail. I think like the important thing for me is like having like, if you have the urge to make sure to trust me, then I'll trust you. If you have the urge to like, if you want to send an email, then go for it. Like, it's not a problem with me. But since I'm like the main voice of the organization, like I'm the secretary / communications manager, I've had some difficulties where like whether it be like either one problem or like another, and it's like together, and I have to figure out what the heck can I do to like alleviate the situation from ongoing. So as a whole, as a group, we try to discuss these different issues that we've had to make sure, okay, we have these different issues, we need to make sure to put a stop to it, or else we're going to go, because we don't want that to happen to our organization. Since we're brand new, and it's just the three of us.
I think troubleshooting in general is something that is never really going to go away. No matter, you know, once you grow from only having 3 people in your organization to 300, you guys are going to have to be able to know how to work together. And I think even like in an agency like PCCS, we have over 500 employees, and even to this day, we're still figuring out ways to troubleshoot. I mean, I don't know about Kevin, but I think he knows that the amount of emails that he gets from me about problems that we're facing.
Story of my life. Yep.
So it's great that like you know, like we've said, that you know, you guys having that transparency and even being open and honest now on Facebook with people watching, you know, saying like, you know what, we are still new, and there are going to be hiccups along the way, and you know what, maybe our website isn't going to always be 100% because technology is a blessing and a curse right now. So.
I do think that something that Anthony had spoken about earlier was saying how when he's crafting his emails to discuss the mission with the agency, it's very, you know, personal. And I think that that's like the key thing that's going on right now is with so many organizations and businesses and everybody's vying for your attention online now, because it's the only place that any agency, business can vie for your attention. Having like a really personal mission and something that you can clearly articulate, which clearly all of you can, you know, definitely like helps propel that mission forward. You know, it's clearly evident that you guys are invested, you know, and being able to personalize it so you can really hear like a real personal story makes the impact like way stronger.
Yeah. Well, the distance that we all have to be right now brings us closer together, ironically enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And, to add in to what Sal said, like whenever I would send in the emails to, let's say, Alyssa, to you, Alyssa, or Alexa, or Kevin, or to Chris, and I would CC both Eric and Sal, I would have to make sure to let them know to say, please check your email, let me know what you think. And then Sal all the time would say, good job with the emails, because he knows how I like my emails to be. Like, if my emails are like short, if my emails are short, I'm like, let me add maybe a little bit more. Because with me, with the emails, like the email that I sent you, Kevin and Alyssa, about the Power Hour, that's how that's how I like to send my emails. Cut straight to the point, where like, this is what I'm trying to figure out to say. Like whenever I go on my computer and I see like the little window of the email, I do my best to make sure to figure out, okay, think about what you're gonna say. Don't make mistakes. Go with the flow. That's what I think in my mind.
Yeah, I hear you.
Which is good, and usually when Anthony sends out the emails and CCs it to me, 99.9% of the time it's like I love it. I like the emails a lot, because usually what that represents is like a cover letter for an organization, kind of. Like you're not applying for a job, but you're explaining to them what we are, who we are, what we're about, what we what we want to do as either collaboration or whatever it really is. And like just how a cover letter is like done to the point, like there's no cutting corners, or there's no going around corners, straight to the point. That's how we like to be, because if you're straight to the point, most of the organizations or most of the people would want to work with you. And if you're going around the corners, you're not really stating what you want or what you are.
Right.
So I really like the emails a lot.
It's also like a part of my dedication to the organization. Like, the reason why I chose to become the secretary is because I was the secretary for Hillel back in 2018-19, which I was in charge of meeting minutes. And so since I do both meeting minutes and I send out the emails, that's like where my dedication falls in.
Nice.
So, Anthony, I know you're saying about when you're sending out these emails, and you know the world is in such a constant state of like hustle and bustle, especially now that, you know, if you're not doing something that's eye-catching, moving on to the next topic. I think so. With that said, I know that that's kind of how you present yourself, and that's this is part of your branding process. Speaking from that marketing and communication side of things, you guys are in your infancy right now, and your branding is just getting started, and your organization is just getting started. So with that said, how can other organizations get involved in your organization? How, besides the initial, hey guys from DeleteTheWordCant, I am so interested and I am so intrigued by what your mission is, and I align so well. What are ways that we can do that? What are ways that we can come together? Not just PCCS, the community at large.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good question to ask me, because like for me, like in general, like whenever like I would if I were to send an email to, let's say, PCCS, I sent you guys an email about wanting to collaborate. We would also make sure to put in our website so that the organization that we want to, hopefully, if they want to work with us, they can look at our website, see who we are more clearly about, because we have also our different pages. And like once I put in our website or social media, then the organization, whichever organization that would want to partner with us, they would have a better understanding of not only of me describing who we are as a whole, but looking at the website and also looking at the social media based on the posts that we are like sending out, which is also making sure that it's very positive and in line with like the org message.
Okay.
So what are some of your future plans then, that like you're going to get other community members involved? Like, what are some special projects that maybe you guys have in the works or have even talked about, or just those preliminary brainstorms basically? Where are we going from here, guys?
Well, like we've said, we wanted to have numerous walks throughout the 5 boroughs, but because of the pandemic that we're currently in, we can't do that. So we're unable to do that. As of right now, we're just looking to collaborate through as much digital means as we can. Like Eric and Anthony have told you, we're collaborating with City Access, you guys, Harvest Cafe, a very special place, through as much digital as we can for the moment. Once this pandemic slows down and everything gets back to normal once again, then we'll try to do physical events within wherever we can. CSI, parks, just walking. That's the gist of it.
And actually, I guess I could do this professionally too, but personally, I've been in contact. My stepdad helped me get in contact with Creative Spirits, and Creative Spirits is basically a job market that helps people that have disabilities look for jobs.
Cool.
And so I contacted the director. We've been on communication. He asked me to send him my resume, which I did. He's actually gonna try and put me in contact with the mayor's office for disability, and I'm gonna see possibly maybe with my team if we would like to work with them in the future, whether it's on some events or for spreading messages or anything of that sort. And I'm not sure if Sal actually has, I don't think Sal has said this before, but what we would want to eventually put out in the world is that for some reason a lot of people use the word "can," which shouldn't be accurate in my opinion. But if the organizations or the people are saying "can," then they're basically admitting defeat. They're not even going to try. They're just saying, you know what, I'm not gonna do it because I can't. And if you say I'm unable to, it still gives you like that 50-50 leverage. So that's why I always say, and I always try to spread across like Sal and Anthony and other organizations, that I'm able to better word because it gives you a better leverage than the word can. And once you, yeah.
No, I think that I heard Sal say just in this conversation just earlier when he was answering a question. He had said something. He's like, blah, blah, we can't, or we are unable to. I was like, I kind of noticed that. I was like, oh, I see. That's cool. That's cool.
And once you start going from can to unable, once you do that, you'll be able to go from unable to, you know what they can.
When you say you're unable to do something, you have to provide a greater description. And once you get to that greater description, then you're thinking about how can I provide a solution to that problem so I can say I can instead of I'm unable to.
Right.
So see, a lot of people say that one word, but they don't know exactly how much of an idea goes behind that word.
So we actually have a question. What would you replace the word can't with? So we can have some examples to use and replace it, like in our everyday language. So we can get started on the mission.
I think I have two examples, and it's like a similar example. Like if you have a disability, you have the ability to achieve something great, and if you're disabled, then you are able to do that certain goal.
Oh wow!
I hear it. I hear it like every single time. Every single time. Because it's a good example because it's a good example because many people like that are disabled, they feel like they can't or they feel like they're unable to do like a certain thing. But I would tell them this: like, you have a disability, you have the ability to do something grateful and to do something like worthwhile if they also put their mind to it.
Nice.
And in my opinion, when I was writing specifically my personal statements when I'm going back to school for my master's, they asked me what specifically, like they told me to talk about myself, and in one sentence I put that as someone who has a disability, you know what? I don't like usually bringing this up, but I should in this case because it's important. I always say that usually before you're born, God decides who gives a disability and who doesn't. Because when God gives you a disability, he or she, I don't, no one knows. So God basically envisions that you will do great things with your disability, and they want to see you actually accomplish those great things.
Nice. I like that. I like that way of looking at it.
Not having a disability is too easy. Like, who wants that?
Nice. That's very cool. It's very important. I think it's very cool how you guys are very specific about the language, because I think that language is one of those things that people will take for granted, that you can communicate one way or another. Somebody's going to understand what I'm saying, but the hidden things that you don't realize you're communicating with the language you say, is really important. So that's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, we take language for granted nowadays, and we should change
it. Absolutely.
It's all about perspective.
Ain't that the truth?
100%.
It's so true.
But you know what? Actually, instead of saying that word unable to, like, you know how we want to say instead of can't, you're unable to. Instead of saying unable to, like, if you have, like, no one has to use the word can't at all. They could just use either unable to or don't want to, because can't and don't want, not being able to, not wanting to, are two different things. which people forget at times. So instead of using the word can't, you could just you could, as Sal said, you could think about what's stopping your roadblock and like just thinking ways how to overcome or overturn that roadblock so that way you could turn can't into can.
I would even say even like unsure of, like, instead of unable or can't, if someone's asking something that's like, well, I'm not sure, it's not a firm like I definitely don't want to, or this is just impossible. Like, it's like, I'm not sure, let's find out how we can,
Yeah, it opens up the conversation.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that said, I do want to point out that I can only speak for myself. I have a wonderful wristband here. For those of you that
Look at that. I also as well. We all do.
Yeah, I missed the bracelet, gang. I don't know what happened. I'll catch you guys next week.
Your name on it, Kevin.
Great.
But with that said, guys, tell us, how can viewers, people who want to get involved, potential donors, get in touch with you guys to get these fantastic wristbands and help donate to the cause?
Well, I'm gonna actually let Sal take this one because he hasn't spoken much.
Okay, sure. First of all, you can go on our website, DeleteTheWordCant.org, and go to our contacts page, and you can email us there. Or you can as well go on our Facebook page, Delete the Word Cant, and message us through there. Or you can email us at DeleteTheWordCant@gmail.com and just request wristbands, and we will be happy to send you how many you want. If I missed any sources, Anthony, Eric, I don't think I did, but
no. But I remember when one of the organizations that were partnering with City Access, I gave like a brief descriptive detail of where you can get like the wristbands or how you can purchase them. So like Sal said, you, like, for those that are watching, you would go to DeleteTheWordCant.org. You would go to the donations page. You would have to like see like how many like wristbands you would want. So if you provide your email and name, then I can send you an email of, hey, I saw that you emailed me. I wanted to know if you wanted to purchase bracelets and how many. And then I will give them like a brief description of where they could go, which is going to the Delete the Word Cant website. From there, you go to the donations page. Depending on how many bracelets you want and also how much donation, you go to the donations page, and you have 3 options of choosing a donation option. Mind you, donations are also much appreciated if you would like to purchase some amount of bracelets. And you would have 3 options of donation options, which are PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Nice. Once you decide which one you're going to pick as your donation spot, Eric or Sal will be the one that receives the donation, and then we would input it into our database of how much donations we receive. So, and also giving in the name of who is getting it, like name, where they're from, the company that they're part of, and so on and so forth. So please, if you guys have a chance, go to our website, figure out how many bracelets you want to get for your family or for a team. All donations are much appreciated.
Not only do we use your name and other information for our database, but we also include a personalized note that you can share on your social medias and spread our message across.
Yep,
love it.
And
and I have it right here, guys. A real life testimonial, so you will get with some really awesome business cards. So please donate today.
Thank you.
How could you say no? Like, so great.
Some people actually have asked us, when you make the bracelet, why do you leave out the apostrophe next to the word, like with cans? Why do you leave out the apostrophe?
Yeah.
And that is actually because if you don't put if you do not put the apostrophe, it's basically a group of letters working together to make a greater word. And if you do put the apostrophe, then the T is basically all alone. And we don't want really anyone to be alone. We're in this together.
Yep.
As a team, like the letters.
I love that. Your attention to detail. You guys have the attention to detail that's just amazing. Amazing. I love it.
And also stating one of the title songs of High School Musical, "We're all in this together." So that's all that counts.
There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna say my little plug for those of you who haven't seen our "We're All in This Together" music video. Please take a look at PCCSNY on Facebook. And I want to thank Gotham Trinity Production for helping us edit that.
Shout out to Gotham Trinity.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the video, I was really excited. I was really excited when I saw the video.
That's awesome. Some people we're getting a lot of feedback about your reasoning, Eric, for not putting the apostrophe in the word "can't," and I love that. And it really is just making it more apparent why this mission it's needed and it's necessary, and we have a long way to go, but we're gonna do it together.
I told Sal, and I before we made the resistance, before we got it ordered. I don't know if it was you, Sal, or if it was my parents, but I know it was one of you guys. They really they really wanted to delete the word "can't" with the apostrophe instead of just it's scrunched up together kind of. But I just think that this kind of shows a stronger message than with the apostrophe. Because as I said, with the apostrophe, you're basically signaling out one letter, and we're not trying to signal out any person. We're all in this. We're all together, no matter. That's why we're trying to spread to a variety of people and not just one specific person.
Love it.
That's great. Love it. So, with that said, I want to thank you guys so much for coming today and talking with us and sharing your message. And we are at PCCS really looking forward to working together on future projects. I know that you have said, even on outside conversations, that if you go to your social media pages, there are plenty of resources as well for community events and community happenings. So I strongly recommend those of you who are watching to please check out the website, check out their social media, become their friends. They're awesome guys here, and they just have such a great mission. They're really pushing forward. So let's help them out as much as we can. So I want to thank you guys so much. To donate, go to www.DeleteTheWordCant.org. And that's all for our emPower Hour. So thank you all for taking your lunch break with us today. And
thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. All right.
Bye.
Take care.